just incredible. A rainforest sprouting out of the sand. It's just one of the many riddles here at Fraser Island. And on this adventure, we're going to take you to some extremely special places on the world's biggest sand island, but also off it. A lot of people don't appreciate that off the island, but still on the Fraser coast, there are some absolute treasures that are really worth exploring. And I'll be exploring this time in my Ford Everest Titanium. She's accessorised with top-of-the-line bells and whistles, which I'm looking forward to showing you. My Fraser Island adventure actually began a week ago in my other rig for this season, my Ford Ranger Wild Track. You do need to keep it fairly well pinned. She took me to the far north of Fraser. And this is it, Sandy Cape. And what a glorious place it is. Because it is really only the most adventurous that actually make it up this far. I discovered the bluest of oceans, teeming with life. And along the coast, I was chaperoned by the island's most popular resident.
He's off for his afternoon walk.
I ticked off a few of the favourites. It is the place where you back your 4B up to one of the most beautiful crystal clear water courses in the world. And found a few others that are off the beaten track. I am the only bugger here. In this episode, starring my Ford Everest, I'll be kicking up some more sand on a few heavenly trails to what you could easily argue are the most beautiful places in the world. We'll visit an ancient rainforest that could have been lost forever. From Fraser Island to the Fraser coast, I'll show you the best four-wheel driving around. Mapping it out, we'll begin on the west coast of Fraser at Ungower. Then it's to Lake McKenzie and Central Station. We'll also check out Lake Wabi before heading to the mainland to explore the Maryborough Loop and the top tracks and attractions around Burrum before heading south to Tinninbar and Port Hedley. But this leg begins above the Great Sandy's tidal flats and mangroves on the southwest coast of Fraser Island. This is the view from Ungower Campground. The first destination today is one of Fraser's most celebrated attractions, Lake McKenzie. It's roughly halfway across the island. When you're planning your journey to Fraser, it's really worth considering the fuel that you're going to use. This is a big island, over 120 kilometres long, and when you're crisscrossing it on your adventures, you're often doing it on really soft sand. Sometimes if you pick the tides the wrong way and you end up travelling up that eastern beach on the soft stuff, you will absolutely chew the juice. Possibly use double, even triple what your regular fuel consumption figures will be. Add to that low tyre pressures and your vehicle just needs to work that little bit harder to get around the place. Now there is solutions to this. There is fuel available at about 3 different spots at least on the island, but keep in mind they are island prices and they will charge you around about $1 more per litre than you'll pay on the mainland. So if you've got a long range fuel tank, fill her up. If you can fit in a jerry can, chuck it in the back. But as a four-wheel driver, your best laid plans can hit a speed bump when you least expect it. In my case, a white cypress pine that's fallen across the track. See, you can't take chainsaws into national parks around Australia. Ridiculous, I know, for situations like this. But what we can do is use a little thing called a snatch ring. So I can run my winch from there to a tree over here, back to this tree here, because essentially what I need to do is drag this whole tree over this side of the track so I can drive straight through and so other four-wheel drivers can. So let's hook in. After enough winch rope is released, I set up my anchor point on the tree. So connecting this up here, we've got a utility strap which is also being used as a tree trunk protector here. And we're hooking that up with a soft shackle. Now these soft shackles are pretty incredible because amazingly they are of a bigger capacity than
most metal shackles that you would generally find in a four-wheel drive recovery bag. So now we have our pulley that is hooked up to our tree. So it's pretty simple here. We run our synthetic winch rope around this, and that provides a nice little pulley. So now we're going to attach this to our dead tree.
The winch rope hook is connected to another tree trunk protector tied around the fallen tree.
I think we've moved that enough now. We can easily drive around that.
This tip was brought to you by Ford Everest. These side roads are really wonderful to drive on. There are fewer vehicles and the sand is much less rutted than the busy cross-island routes, which I'm now turning onto. There's no busier route than the one to Lake McKenzie. Even at 10 in the morning, the car park is pretty busy. But the small amount of congestion is well worth it to step onto McKenzie's brilliant white sand. It's a partly cloudy day, and when the sun comes out, the sand and the water literally glows like neon.
You will have no doubt seen this place, Lake McKenzie, on the tourist brochures, and for good reason. But it's not until you actually arrive here that you can experience the softness and the temperature of the water and the true colours of the turquoise and the white. The water in here, it comes from the heavens. It's not spring-fed, it is purely out of the sky. And I tell you, I feel like I'm in heaven right about now.
Beautiful melaleuca trees line the edge of the lake. Most visitors have travelled a long way to get here, but not Jason and Sylvia. They're from nearby Harvey Bay, which makes this stretch of sand their local beach.
Yeah, just enjoying what Fraser has to offer, really.
Yeah.
So fishing, four-wheel driving, sightseeing, swimming, the whole works, you know.
Mate, you could be a brochure for this place, I reckon. But I like it and I agree with you.
He grew up here. He used to come in very frequently since he was little.
Yeah, been coming since I was a kid, so yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, so you feel very comfy here.
Yeah.
You're a lucky bugger being over only an hour away, that's for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah. Oh, well, thanks for the chat, guys. Appreciate it.
That's all right.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Enjoy your stay.
You bet I will, Jace. In fact, I know a spot where I can have some peace and quiet, even during the busiest times at McKenzie. It's around a small sand peninsula, just a few hundred metres to the left of the walkway to the beach.
In these gorgeous fresh waters of Lake McKenzie, there is nothing to bite you, nothing to sting you, nothing to hurt you. You can simply relax in the utter beauty of this area, whether you're looking above the water or below.
Next, we hit the coast.
The glorious golden sands of Eurong Beach.
And in the soft sand, find a family in trouble. While the recovery doesn't start well,
Now I've got stuck.
it ends in success.
So this is a 2-for-1 recovery.
We'll venture into Fraser's rainforest wonderland.
What a beauty.
And I'll show you what makes my Ford Everest titanium tick.
But you will notice that it is a little bit taller than your average Ford Everest.
Also, my recipe that will help you fuel up for a big day of four-wheel driving.
And make sure you check out the Mr. 4x4 app at mr4x4.com.au.